being shorted out. I got like 5 minutes. Good morning. Good. Hello. Hello. Sound booth. Sound. Hello. Anybody home? Well, let's please rise. I'll use my preacher's voice here. Please rise in body and or spirit for our opening hymn, number 134. Our world is one world. Our world is one world. One touch is one, makes us all. The seas that wash us round about the mountain over us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its waves of love affect us all. The way we spin, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many homes, but where our hearts can be a different call. Testing, okay. Yeah. Yes, thank you, the audio-visual team. So, welcome. I am the Reverend J. Wolin, the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist of Sarasota. I see we have some people walking. If you have a seat next to you, could you raise your hand? Okay, so people, you can find your seats. There are still some, even in the second and third row. It's not the first row because we have the choir today, but anyway. We especially want to welcome our visitors today, both on campus as well as streaming on YouTube. We invite everyone, including our visitors, to participate in any of our events on campus, and there are many. We welcome you to find out more about us and Unitarian Universalism by registering on our virtual guest book, which you can find via a link on the homepage of our website, UUSRQ.org. If you are here in person, there as well as a sign-up sheet at the table right outside the front door there at the welcome table. And if you sign up, you will receive our weekly newsletter. And I know you're not going to get a car. It's not Oprah, but you will get Zoom links as well to our virtual events. We invite everyone to join us for refreshments and conversation after every service every week. So I have a few special announcements. I'm going to go through them quickly because we have a lot of things happening today. Next Sunday is our annual meeting. So especially if you are a member, anyone is welcome to attend, but only members can vote. There's nothing really exciting voting, but we do need a quorum. So please, if you are a member, plan to be here and stay for the meeting. It will also be available on Zoom. The Arts Council is happy to invite you to a new exhibit and reception after today's service, The Collective Lens, a group of collaborative local photographers is showing their work in the Lexar room. You'll also see some beautiful pottery and jewelry on the pedestals, so be sure to stop by the Lexar to meet the artists and enjoy the exhibit. Also, after the service today is the monthly Rainbow Alliance meeting and potluck. They'll have a guest speaker, Marcy Jack, board member and volunteer coordinator at Project Pride. They will share updates on the organization's work in the community and ways we can support their efforts. If you were here early, you saw a table outside. We have our Seder, our annual Seder, April 2nd, and it's really been a great event. And so if you want to sign up, whether you come from Jewish heritage or not, if it's something of a curiosity, please join us. And on March 28th, it's a big day, March 28th, from 9 to 2, we will be having our annual Save Democracy for All conference at the Venice Community Center. Flyers and brochures containing registration information will be available at the Social Justice Committee table. And as well, then after that, we have the group, we're going to be having the No Kings Rally, and they have moved the No Kings Rally in Sarasota and Venice to be after this, so you could attend both. So please, and please register in advance so they know how many people are coming. And now, we get to enjoy the wonderful choir.
Good morning. My name is Linda Bodycomb, and I am the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee liaison to this congregation. And I will be reading the opening words by the head of the UUSC, Mary Katherine Morn. Progressive people of faith share a fundamental belief that all people have innate worth and dignity. We also share the belief that all people are connected to one another, our collective future dependent on one another's safety and livelihood. When these affirmations form the bedrock of our spirituality and everyday life, we are naturally called to draw on our faith-founded courage and directly confront violent systems. When people of faith and conscience and grassroots groups collaborate, we unleash the power of our moral imagination to confront violence and build a liberatory future. We will lay the foundation for collective action and effective strategies toward the vision of a world where all people thrive. Because all people are beloved, all people belong. Reverend Jay will light the chalice this morning. Please join me now in affirming the value of justice, which is printed in your order of service and is hopefully, yes, will be displayed on the screen behind me.
We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive.
Good morning, everyone. Today's story is We Are All Connected, Caring for Each Other and the Earth, written by Gabby Garcia and illustrated by Natalia Jimenez Osorio. We all live on one blue dot spinning in space. We are all part of the human race. We have hopes and dreams and love in our hearts. We are stronger together than we are apart. So why all the fuss to compete and compare when it feels so much better to connect and to share? We can share when we're sad or down in the dumps. We can share our joys, give high fives or fist bumps. When we're seen and heard, trust blooms and grows. We are all connected. Kindness ripples and flows. Let's speak up for others, include and embrace. We all make mistakes. We can give others grace. We have more in common than we may believe. We are all connected. We all love. We all grieve. We can celebrate differences, lend a hand, learn from each other, and take a stand. Protect the water, care for the land, respect all beings. The earth is grand. Nature gives her bounty. She is gentle yet mighty. Stand in awe of her force and preserve her beauty. Let's look under rocks and explore vast skies, honor the mountains and chase butterflies. Let's go hunting for rainbows, plant more trees, grow a garden, and be friends with the bees. The earth is our home and needs our care. We all play a part. We all breathe the same air. We belong to the earth. It is not ours. We are all connected. We are made of stars. We are all connected. Take care of each other. Take care of the earth. We're all here together. The end. Thank you. It takes all of us, whether we're big or small, to help protect our earth and all those who are in need, whether from man-made disasters like war or from natural disasters like an earthquake. We need each other to care, for what we do has a ripple effect on the entire planet and all those who live here. So I now invite any children or youth to join me and Miss Kristen in the West Wing for a lesson on the butterfly effect. Thank you.
So as I failed to say when I started the service, this service is a collaboration between myself and our Unitarian Universalist Service Committee members. So as we gather for centering words, I invite you, if you are comfortable, to close your eyes, to relax your shoulders, maybe just let them drop, let your hands flow free. Just take a couple of breaths intentionally in and out of your nose, in and out. Spirit of life and love, we come in this hour carrying what the week has given us. The news of ongoing wars, the innocent lives ending too abruptly, our immigrant neighbors still living in fear, the worries about our futures, and the worries about the generations to come. We carry the weight of the world in need. Here we are, though, together. Let our hearts hold hope and love for all, including each other. Today, we will hear stories of people who looked at a broken world and did not turn away. They looked and they acted. From wartime Europe to the mountains of Haiti to the streets of Sarasota and Minneapolis. Ordinary people animated by extraordinary love. They chose to be in partnership with those who were suffering. And that is our tradition. That is our calling. So as we center ourselves, let us release what separates us from our deepest values. Right? The cynicism, the exhaustion, the fear that our small efforts don't matter, because every effort matters. As we go into a time of silence now, I invite you to contemplate, where am I being called to show up? Our next reading comes again from Mary Katherine Morn. The Unitarian Universalist Service Committee has acted alongside interfaith coalitions and global social justice movements for 85 years in pursuit of justice, equity, and structural accountability. UUSC's founding story is the source of inspiration and challenge for many of us today, facing our own choices of how we will respond to emboldened tyranny and violence, end quote. Of course, the tyranny she mentions that caused the creation of UUSC was Nazism in World War II. And we will now see a short video about Martha Sharp, one of the founders of UUSC.
Martha Sharp was one of the founding five members of the Unitarian Service Committee, which later became UUSC. She was a social worker married to the Reverend Waitstill Sharp, who was a Unitarian minister serving a congregation in Wellesley Hills, Massachusetts. And Martha and Waitstill were approached in late 1938 by Robert Dexter, who was the director of social relations at the American Unitarian Association, which we might call social justice today. And they asked the couple if they'd be willing to go to Czechoslovakia to assist refugees fleeing the Nazis there. So in February of 1939, Martha and Waitstill left their two young children with friends of the congregation and traveled to Prague. And along the way to Prague, they met with others in the resistance, and they set up networks of volunteers who would later become really indispensable with keeping them safe and helping get refugees out.
And the Germans let us go through. When we arrived on the border, the other side of the border, in Holland, the passport man looked to the passports, and he said, Mrs. Sharp, these two men, the United Press and the Associated Press representatives, are not on your list, and I'm throwing them off. I'm sending them back to Germany. And these two men got down on their knees and begged, and they threw off their luggage. I went on, I said, those two men are on my list, you turn it over and look on the other side. They said, oh, no, you must put it there afterwards. I said, if you make an incident, I'll take my whole group off, and I'll fire the United States government, and I'll tell them what you're doing to people like us who have legitimate visas. And so they said, all right. They went out, got the men in the back on the train, and the train moved on.
Her work became the basis of the Kinder transports in Britain, which moved thousands of Jewish children out of Nazi-occupied Europe. Her work with the Unitarian Service Committee inspired her to run for Congress in 1946. She lost to the incumbent, Joe Martin, who repeatedly called Martha a little girl during his campaign. Martha remained committed to social justice throughout her life, continuing to work with UUSC and serving on the National Security Resources Board. And this is a really big honor. In 2006, Martha and Waitstill were the second and third U.S. citizens to be named Righteous Among the Nations, which is an honor bestowed to non-Jewish individuals who risked their lives to aid Jews during the Holocaust. Martha's legacy reminds me every day that I need to use my own privilege to keep the wheels of justice moving, and to remember that moral outrage is a source of power that can be used and harnessed in useful ways. No matter how many times the situation seemed impossible, Martha trusted the community of people that she gathered around her, and she persisted. And she didn't allow sexism to end her justice work, no matter how many opponents sought to diminish her. She knew her power, and she knew how to persist through adversity. So that's something I keep with me in my own work.
Martha Sharp was an amazing woman. After World War II, Waitstill and Martha Sharp divorced as she continued her justice work, and he wanted the quieter life of parish ministry. His first ministry after World War II, where he served for 8 or 9 years, was Davenport, Iowa, where I served for 11 years, many years later. Surprisingly, he rarely talked about his time in Europe. But due to my time there, as well as his history, I became well acquainted with the Sharp story and UUSC premiering a movie about their involvement with the creation of UUSC. And I became re-engaged with UUSC as part of Davenport, Iowa's congregational sanctuary work supporting asylum seekers. UUSC CAPAS program, which stands for Community Accompaniment Program with Asylum Seekers, just rolls off the tongue. But it was a great help to us from a preparatory legal and training standpoint of interacting with not only asylum seekers, but also the government. And which was a very difficult process from all ends. But despite the difficulty, we know that due to this, lives were saved. Much like the work that we are doing with Food for Our Neighbors, we know is saving lives. But I first heard of the Service Committee soon after becoming a Unitarian Universalist through the Guest at Your Table program, where we would take home a box that had stories of hope from different areas of the world. And the Service Committee had partners in each of those locations. And they still have these, but this is when my children were young. Every meal we had together, our family would empty our pockets and put coins in the box. And after a few months, we would convert what was in there into a donation to UUSC. It was a family event as a way to keep present the suffering in the larger world, as well as to keep present in our minds the work that people were doing to alleviate that suffering. Well, over the years, as the children grew older, we ate less meals together, and let's be honest, no one has changed anymore, as most transactions are now electronic. I keep a few quarters if I ever go to Aldi's, to get the cart, but really, I don't have much change anymore. So the boxes disappeared from our dining room table, but the stories remained every year as a reminder. And that is why we do this service every year, as a reminder to keep the work of UUSC present in our hearts. And although I don't keep Change and Collect It, I still write them a check every year to support their work. Now I'd like to invite up Louise, Machinist, to share her experiences.
Good morning. So it says my revelation about the UUSC. If you're at the edge of your seat, just slide back because it's not going to be as shocking as you might be hoping. So I want to give you a little history. This is my history. For 35 years or so, I was a member of Sunny Hill, a very dedicated member. But that is not a cult. That's the name of a UU church in Pittsburgh. And as a new member, I immediately adapted to the culture right away. Sunny Hill supported the UUSC religiously. They were very big on the UUSC. We were an honor congregation, and that was acknowledged every year in the UU magazine, the UUA magazine, and I would actually look. Every year I looked at the list of honorees to make sure that our name was listed as an honor congregation, and we were, year after year. So I was proud to be a UU. as Jay was just reminiscing about, yes, we had the boxes. The kids every year brought the boxes, put them on the table. We did put the coins in the boxes. We donated as a family every time, and we trusted that the money would be used to support UU values around the world. So now, decades later, my contribution goes automatically every January to the UUSC. So I thought I knew about it. Here's the revelation. I was shocked, even though I thought I was very well informed about the work of the service committee, shocked a couple months ago when I heard a presentation by Mary Katherine Morn. And why shocked? Because somehow for all these years I'd thought that the UUSC mostly gave direct charitable contributions. Cows for poor villages in India, relief to hurricane victims in Haiti, microcredit loans for small entrepreneurs. Well, those are all good things, and they still do happen. But I had missed a lot of the strategy changes that happened in the last 30 years. Now, the UUSC focuses on advocacy, skill building, organizing, and strategic support for just societies, for democracy building in the US and around the world. These things make a bigger impact potentially than a few cows. But the cows are still good, but we can do more. We can do things that actually help to create systemic changes that affect potentially millions of lives. So there is more on a personal level here. Linda set up a Zoom meeting with a UUSC staffer a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about our Food for Neighbors program. The UUSC provides grants and strategic support to UU congregations for various special projects. And we, of course, intend to tap that as possible. We also shared our program and our what we're doing with them to perhaps pass on to others. So I will leave you with a hope and a wish. I wish and hope to once again be a proud member of a congregation that is a UUSC honor congregation. We'll be taking the dedicated offering. They share the plate. Well, I say it's share the basket. We'll be doing that later today, and I hope and wish that we'll honor Linda Bodycomb's very wonderful work all these years for the UUSC in our congregation by being an honor congregation again. So let's honor Linda by, how about at least half of us contribute to the UUSC with our names attached to it. If you just throw in some coins, that doesn't count, but if you make a contribution with your name attached, which Linda will explain how contributions can be made, then we will get credit and we will have honored Linda's work, and we will be proud honor congregation members. Thank you.
Good day. The UUSC works around the world in 25 countries to advance human rights by participating and partnering with over 100 grassroots organizations that know their communities best. Rather than imposing outside solutions, UUSC supports local leaders who are already working for dignity, justice, and resilience. This approach is especially meaningful in places facing complex challenges, such as Haiti. I've chosen Haiti as an example of UUSC's work because I've been there. I've been assessing the potential to support local communities, meet their needs, and because of an interview I watched in the 1990s. Jean-Bertrand Aristide, the former president of Haiti, was asked by a TV journalist, "Why should Americans care about Haiti?" Aristide's answer was quite simple: because we're human. Haiti has endured years of political instability, natural disasters, and economic hardship. In this context, UUSC collaborates with Haitian partner organizations that are deeply rooted in their communities. These partnerships focus on strengthening local capacity, protecting human rights, and helping communities respond to crises in ways that are sustainable and community-led. One example of this work is UUSC's support for Haitian organizations that provide protection and services to people affected by violence and disasters. Working alongside community groups, UUSC helps expand access to safe shelters, clean water, and essential resources. Local partners also provide legal support, advocacy for people whose rights have been violated, including those who have been forced from their homes and separated from their family members. UUSC also supports Haitian partners working to protect women and girls from gender-based violence. Community organizations offer counseling, legal assistance, and safe spaces, while also working to address the root causes of violence through education and advocacy. Because these programs are led by local groups, they are culturally informed and better able to reach those in need. Another important area of collaboration involves strengthening community resilience. Haitian partner organizations help communities prepare for natural disasters, improve food security, and rebuild livelihood after crises. By investing in locally driven solutions, UUSC helps ensure that communities are not only responding to immediate needs, but also building a stronger foundation for the future. What makes UUSC's work distinctive is its commitment to partnerships. Haitian organizations set priorities and they lead the work, while UUSC provides resources, connections, and international advocacy. This model respects the expertise of local leaders, promotes long-term sustainable change. UUSC supports locally led media and storytelling events to uplift the resilience of communities rebuilding from political and environmental disasters, rejecting exploratory narratives that erase Haitian self-determination. Supporting UUSC means supporting people who are already working every day to protect human rights in their own communities. In Haiti and around the world, UUSC's partnerships help create safer, more just, and more resilient communities. A donation to UUSC is not only an act of generosity, a UU value, it is an investment in grassroots leadership and in belief that lasting change grows from the ground up. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Susie Brucklacher. The UU Service Committee has been part of my life since I was 4 years old. This morning, I want to give you some highlights of this long relationship with focus on the time I've been a member of this congregation. The way the UUSC partners with communities throughout the world parallels my own life, building diverse teams to solve problems and create change. I joined this congregation in 2010 and soon realized I wanted to do international social justice work. I did not want to become a missionary or get into some sort of transactional quid pro quo relationship with communities. Not knowing how to get started, I asked Reverend Brucklacher. He gave me this document, show and tell, I got a couple exhibits. He gave me this document, and he said, read this. Small print, narrow margins. It was a plan laying out the UU College of Social Justice. To quote the internet, the College of Social Justice was created in 2012 as a joint initiative between the UUA and the Service Committee. Its mission was to inspire, educate, and sustain activists for justice by bridging the gap between faith-based theory and hands-on experience. Brock believed that I would make a good trip leader. So he arranged for me to attend the first training class in Cambridge. I learned so much that week. How to support UU youth moving into a community of poverty while facing their own privilege for probably the first time. Preparing for all the things that can go sideways in the mountains of Haiti or the deserts of southern Arizona. And how to prevent as much of that as possible. How to create a covenant. How to create sacred, safe space every morning and every evening and in between as needed. It was the first time I saw our religion so completely interwoven with our justice work in the world, in every minute of every day. I have used what I learned in my work with the UUs of Sarasota. Brock was wise to send me to Cambridge. The UUSC did a great job of preparing me for lay leadership within this congregation. You've seen me use these skills as I develop programs within this UU community, and as I've developed partnerships with people in our larger community. A few years ago, Linda Bodycomb asked me to consider working with Pink Haven to build a team here to support the transgender community. UU staff person, now, first of all, remember, if you've been keeping up with this, the UU Service Committee partners with Pink Haven, okay? So this was not an outrageous request on Linda's part. The staff person assigned to support the network has been right there with me, providing documentation, conversations, and coordination with the Pink Haven Hub. Our team has supported people as they've moved to safer states, found health care, shopped for new clothes, job hunted, made connections in the trans community, avoided eviction, found safe housing, and so much more. When Pink Haven gets overwhelmed with their intake process, we help with vetting, triage, and needs analysis. We've created new resources and shared them with Pink Haven and the UUSC, volunteer training materials, outreach materials, show and tell, and an expanded mission statement born of listening to our trans siblings in Florida. We've built solid local contacts with like-minded organizations, and our work this year will focus on building more formal partnerships. Last month, I realized we needed to work in the intersection of immigration and the trans community. The UUSC is again with us. Conversations have started and meetings have been scheduled. I'm guessing Brock would say that the work of the church happens in the world, not in the church. It gives me great joy to work with the UUSC to bring our values into the larger community. Thank you.
Well, now that you know that I'm your liaison, I don't have to read those words. I've been a member of the UUSC since the early 2000s. I was initially drawn to them because of their remarkable origin story in World War II, and you saw some of that this morning, as well as their constant commitment to causes of human rights and social justice around the world, including the United States. I was also attracted to them because of their partnership model and working with marginalized people. Right after my husband, Jim, and I came to Sarasota in 2015, we made a larger commitment to become more involved in the organization, to become stewardship circle donors, which means we support them financially on a larger scale than basic membership. At about the same time, Reverend Brucklacher, there's that name again, talked me into becoming the liaison for this congregation. That was back in 2017. Now I am passing the baton, I wish I had a baton, to Ran Adams, who you heard earlier, who has had an impressive career internationally doing work that could be considered complementary to the mission of the UU Service Committee. Since I became involved, I have seen the organization answer the human rights call that has evolved to meet the needs of who they serve. Impressively, they modify their focus fairly quickly. Now they are responding to the cruelties we now see around us domestically. I've decided to call them the UU Anti-Cruelty Team. Their present mission is to focus in 3 areas, and I will give examples of this based on my latest liaison meeting, which was on Thursday evening. The first is migrant justice, which includes working to minimize the effects of ICE in our country. Along with their CAPAS program that you heard about from Jay, and now with our own UUSRQ Food for Our Neighbors project, UUSC is starting a work permit campaign to protest the government planning to end work permits for asylum seekers. Isn't that kind of unfair? And you and I can be part of that effort to slow it down or even stop it from happening. To borrow a phrase, watch this space. You got to know that. I guess some of you know what that means. The second area is democracy and civil liberties, which includes our Pink Haven project, which is run beautifully by Susie. Additionally, UUSC, along with the United Nations, is working on a new gender justice project to keep us women from losing more of our rights. Watch that space too. The third area of focus is with climate justice programs, one of which maintains a disaster fund for the latest climate change challenge hitting wherever. Adding another example beyond Haiti, UUSC was successful in partnering with a Pacific Islander group that got a UN resolution passed. It was just a couple of guys from a little tiny country, little island country. And they were able to get the UN to agree to, they went to the UN, it was a legal court, and now big polluting countries are having to pay into this fund to help all the small countries that are experiencing climate change disasters. When we talk about UUSC, we keep hearing the words partner and partnership. I want us to think of ourselves as partners of UUSC, as they help us locally with our transgender friends and the Food for Our Neighbors program, and maybe the upcoming work permit campaign, if I can get you all to help. UUSC staff meets with their partners and asks, how can we help? We are different from missionaries who have their own agenda. We partner with them and help them achieve what they actually need. We just want to help based on our values without requiring them to become Unitarian Universalists. Believe it or not, they have a staff of only 40 people to cover all of those countries, to do all this work. Lucky for us and for them that they have adopted the partnership model. Did you know that UUSC doesn't get any funding from the UUA? Even though it's an affiliate of the UUA, the bulk of their funds come from congregational donations, like we will collect this morning. And if you're wondering, UUSC is rated at the highest level with Charity Navigator. Right now, only about 20 to 22% of our UUSRQ members and friends are UUSC members. That's pretty low. We could become first-level honor congregation. We could become one of a first-level honor congregation at just 25%. That's not a whole lot more. Of course, we could follow Louise, and we could go for the silver or for the gold, and starting at 50%, then we would join proudly with the other honor congregations around the country. I get it that many of you prefer to give to local charities. They are just as important as UUSC. However, UUSC is an organization based on our UU values and deserves as much support from us. Our partnership with them is a good investment in the future welfare of our local neighbors. This morning is also a Share the Plate Sunday, which means everything that ends up in the donation basket today goes to the UUSC. However, if you want to become a member, so we can become an honor congregation, it's important you let us know who you are with your donation. You can write a check and make sure to write UUSC on the memo line. You can put cash in an envelope and write your contact information on it so you and we get credit. We also have UUSC envelopes at a table right outside the door if you don't have that with you. And you can donate using the UUSC QR code. Yep, it's right behind me, which is on the back of the order of service. Make sure you let them know that you're from UUSRQ, and there's an option box. I've told that you have to write that in. If you're watching remotely, you can use the QR code behind me on the screen. How much is membership? Well, any amount starting at $5. That's pretty easy. However, if you give $150 or more, it will be matched by a foundation. And if you want to make a bigger commitment, you can talk to me after the service. Thank you for your support, and I hope with our stories today, we have inspired your sense of generosity this morning with all that you've heard. Together, we can dramatically increase the UUSRQ donations to the service committee and join the other honor congregations. and help UUSC continue its amazing work. And let this sacred time now begin as we pass the basket.
So first, I just want to thank Linda Bodycomb for, since I have been here, her commitment to UUSC and her work towards that and engaging the congregation. Let's give her a round of applause as she steps out of that row. Thank you. And let us support Ran Adams as he continues now in that tradition. Yeah, thank you. Because it doesn't happen without all of you volunteering. Our closing words are also from Mary Katherine Morn from the same article, "Now is the time to ignite our moral imagination." As the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. warned, too often we have struggled with the potential of our power. We see very well that progressive faith leaders' reticence to boldly claim the power of our vision and to fund it has left us with movements that are sentimental and anemic. It doesn't have to be so. The call to progressive faith today is nothing less than the unapologetic integration of power with love. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. The urgency of this moment demands that we fully realize our power and commit to justice movements as people of progressive faith and conscience. Now is the time to harness our collective power and influence, discern our shared priorities, practice our moral imagination, and invest in movements that advance human rights for all. Please join me now and rise in body and/or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, We Would Be One. Join me now in extinguishing the chalice.